Assalamualaikum and a very good day to our viewers. We are back on our Tech Talk show. So today's episode, we are going to talk about the Board of Director. What is actually the Board of Director? Board of Director is the definition of a group of people that provide expertise for a company or organization. The Board of Director offer a high-level overall direction and strategy for the organization and protect the financial interests of investor. Board of Director can be divided into several types, which are Independent Director, Executive Director, Managing Director, and many more. In order for us to know more regarding of this topic, we are here with 4 speakers, which are Datuk Amni Atira binti Muhammad Salinda, Datuk Putri Halili Husna binti Muhammad Azli, Datin Nurul Anis Akilah binti Abdul Rahim, and Professor Muhammad Azim bin Muhammad Ismail. This speaker will take us through the meaning of Board of Director in a corporate management, their risks, opportunity, challenges, and also the related case. First, let me introduce to everyone our first speaker, Datuk Amni Atira binti Muhammad Salinda. She is the director of KFC Holding Malaysia Berhad. So, I will invite Datuk Amni to give her speech.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to explain about who is board directors and common type of board directors. A board of directors is simply a group of persons chosen by shareholders to represent them. According to Section 196 Section 1 of the Act 2016, every private company must have at least one director, while a public company must have at least two directors. Directors may fall into 2 major categories, which are executive and non-executive directors. Executive and non-executive directors have no legal distinction. What makes the difference is that non-executive directors are not involved in the day operations of the company. Executive directors perform operational and strategic business functions such as managing people, looking after business assets, hiring and finding staff, and entering into contracts. On the other hand, non-executive directors use their experience and expertise to provide independent advice and objectivity, and they usually have a role in monitoring executive management. A non-executive director might be appointed to carry out a specialist role on a part-time basis or for their expertise in specific activities such as strategy and contract negotiation. They usually work part-time, attending board meetings and spending time on specific projects. Non-executive directors bring an objective view of the business, can improve reports effectiveness at relatively low cost, and provide valuable business connection, meaning to say the company has a board of directors who runs the company and takes every decision collectively through organizing meetings. I will continue this session with the roles and responsibilities of voluntary management. There are a lot of roles and responsibility of board of directors in risk management. The first one is to be committed, strategies, direction, and policies bonus. Directors have the responsibility in making a strategic direction, setting off to the field, and creating an environment for an effective risk management. Board of directors need to establish risk-taking level and risk-viewing capacity of the company to ensure the risk is set within the capabilities of organization and in line with the strategies and goal setting of the company. According to the Journey of Sober and Reading 2004, the effectiveness of effective risk management implementation requires strong community from board of directors. They can fulfill the risk development responsibility by: Number 1, establish risk-taking level and risk-viewing capacity of the company and evaluate basis as a part of strategy and goal setting of the company. Second one is to assess the execution of risk management policies and procedures by management. Keeping up to date with management to ensure policy advocacy and working properly, which is in line with the strategy that being set. The third one is developing a college of risk awareness. As we here knows, I is the one of directors in food industry, which is Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC. Therefore, when my company wants to make mergers and acquisition, the board itself will need to oversee the company's strategy and growth option, whether the timing is suitable or option fits the company's strategy. Then the board will review the pros and cons of mergers and acquisition, which involve discussion with management to fully understand how a transaction will impact all of these stakeholders. Next, the roles and responsibility of board director is to monitor and review company risk management. According to Deloitte's 2018 Audit Committee Resources Guide, risk oversight is a primary board responsibility, and in the evolving business and risk landscape, directors need to develop and continuously improve practices to establish a well-defined and effective oversight function. The purpose of monitoring risk is to help the board familiarize with expectation within the industry of regulatory bodies that organization is operating. Under the view of my company risk management, voluntarily will assess whether the risk management process is appropriate in terms of the scope and the content. Boards play a critical role in influencing management process in my company for monitoring risk. Such this should clearly define with which the full board should discuss regularly versus risks that can generally be delegated to a board committee. I think that's all the information that I can share with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much to Dato' Amni for the explanation. Wow, such a complicated work, I must say. But with all this role, there must be challenges. We all know being a director in every company is not an easy task. So, what actually are the real challenges faced by the board of directors? Therefore, I would like to invite our second speaker, the director of Hotel Royal Limited, Datuk Puteri Halil Husna binti Muhammad Azli, to share with us her challenges as the director of a company from tourism business toward the risk management in her organization.
Thank you for inviting me to this forum, and it was a great pleasure to meet all of you. I think it was a memorable experience to be with great people this morning. Okay, back to the topic. I will explain to all of the audience about challenges faced by Board of Directors toward risk management in organization. Okay, the first challenges is failure to take no risk into account. The Board of Directors must be able to assess what may present opportunities and what may present hazard for the company. In order to exit traffic strategy, the difficulty that Board of Directors may confront in that is either impossible to or costly incorporate all hazard in a risk monitoring system. This is due to the fact that it is hard to accurately predict future occurrence. As I can share with all of you, my hotel, which is Hotel Royal Limited, also fails to take no risk into account. For example, the spread of contagious diseases such as SARS and COVID-19 that will have adverse effect on tourist arrivals. As a board of directors, we should be aware and alert about this upcoming issue. The company must diversify its business sources so that if one source of business is affected, the other sources can help to make for the shortfall. Furthermore, the company must have sufficient financial resources to tide through economic downturns caused by such outbreaks. This is to ensure that the company can avoid or at least minimize the risk from getting worse. With that, the company will remain in normal condition. Okay, the next point is challenges that are faced by the board of directors toward risk management are cyber security breaches, where customers entrust the enterprise with a great deal of sensitive information and they put the trust in the data storage system. Increasing global incidence of cyber attack on the company's servers and website demonstrates the need to reinforce and tighten the security of the group's IT system and avoid breaches. Alright, one of the issues that occurred in my hotel was that the website used for the room reservation process had been hacked. When customers try to make a reservation using their website, they cannot access the following website, even though several repairs have been made. Therefore, we adopt necessary and current IT controls and governance practices, including the strengthening of network security, such as regularly updating security patches to the system. Then, we also conducted regular training for our users to increase their awareness of IT trades. As a result, we could manage this issue in order to satisfy our customer for a better future. Alright, lastly, the challenges that the board of directors face is in a business continuity risk, whereas unforeseen circumstances, including internal and external threats such as fire, flood, and terrorism attacks, also can disrupt the continuation of its business operation. The company reviews its crisis management and communications procedure regularly, so as to ensure that it can continue to maintain its business operation and expedite recovery. I think that's all for the information from me that I can share with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Halili, for that sharing question. Hey, we got a question from the live comment section from Masita Idris. The question is, has the Hotel Royal ever faced a risk related to fire? So, Dr. Halili, what is your opinion regarding the question given?
Alright, thank you Masita Idris for asking me a question. For my own experience, the problem that we faced was our kitchen caught on fire because one of the gas stove broke down. The stove continues to release gas even though it has been closed. Half of the kitchen area was burned. Luckily, no one was injured during the incident. Alright, to cater the problem, we acquired a professional to check every kitchen stove functionality once a month. They can spot problems while they are still small and fix the problem. Although it's quite costly, we can ensure the safety of our employees. Yeah, I think that's a little bit of a story that I can share. Thank you.
Such a great answer. Thank you, Dr. Halili, for answering the question, and I hope this explanation answered the question given. We are going to take a break, but don't go anywhere. We will continue after the break.
Siapa kata tak bergema bila lepak dengan fan. Hidupku naik turun, ku teruskan sahaja. Bila dah tropicana, ku hidup berjus, ku hidup bagus. Jangan simpan, just minum je. Want to juice, want to juice. Tropicana twister. Not tripping, just tripping, keep on sipping. Ooh, Tropicana twister.
Awak yang tak percayakan saya.
Kalau saya ada buat salah, cakap dengan saya, bukan buat perangai macam ni.
Kalau saya boleh bagi awak peluang kedua, kenapa saya tak boleh bagi dia?
Awak jangan nak tutup kesilapan awak dengan cari kesalahan orang lain boleh.
Sebab urusan jodoh tu bukan dekat tangan kita.
Aish tu dah cuba bertahun-tahun tau nak pujuk kau.
Habis hati aku yang dah lama kecil ni. Siapa nak fikir?
Sebelum perasaan kau dengan Lily tu pergi jauh, later kau lupakan dia.
Kerana Cinta Itu Ada, Isnin hingga Jumaat 7 malam di Akasia TV3.
Hi guys, we are back from the break, and I hope you guys are enjoying the show so far. Okay, we already know the challenges, but how can we cater the problems that have been facing the board of directors? Are there any recommendation? Without further ado, I would like to invite our third speaker, the director of Maybank Berhad, Datin Nurul Antis Akila binti Abdul Rahim, to tell us what recommendation can be given toward the effectiveness of the board of directors.
Thank you for the question. Reviewing the skills and the knowledge is also important. The board of directors that have a professional experience and practice are more effective to oversee risks. Board mix of skills and professional experience are sufficient and identify selections priority to be used as part of the board requirement and refreshment process. For now, Maybank Berhad has also applied such criteria in appointing the board of directors.
Thank you to Datin Akila for revealing their speech. Hey, looks like we got another question from viewers, and the question will be: is skills and knowledge important to board of directors in risk management? So Datin Akila, I hope you can answer the question.
Thank you for the question. Reviewing the skills and the knowledge is also important. The board of directors that have a professional experience and practice are more effective to oversee risks. Board mix of skills and professional experience are sufficient and identify selections priority to be used as part of the board requirement and refreshment process. For now, Maybank Berhad has also applied such criteria in appointing the board of directors.
Thank you so much to Datin Akila for that recommendation. I hope we can take those as our guidance to improve our workplace governance. The viewer must be wondering, do this problem really happen in real life? Are there any cases related to it? What are the laws and regulations that comprehend the board of directors? So, I would like to invite our last speaker, Professor Muhammad Azim bin Muhammad Ismail, a lawyer from the Federal Court of Kuala Lumpur, to share with us one of the related case of any issue and scandal regarding the board of directors.
Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak. Now, I would like to talk about the latest case related to Serba Dynamic Holding Berhad that I had handled. The issue was whether Muhammad Abdul Karim bin Abdullah, the CEO, Syed Nazim bin Syed Faisal, Non-Independent Executive Director, and Azhan bin Azmi, the Chief Financial Officer, with intent to deceive, furnish a false statement to Bursa Malaysia. In this case, the offenders were the three persons mentioned. The fact of the issue was they were charged in Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court with furnishing a false statement relating to the revenue of Serba Dynamic Holding Berhad to Bursa Malaysia Securities Berhad. The charge was preferred under Section 369AB of the Capital Markets and Services Act 2007 was in relation to Serba Dynamic's quarterly report on the consolidated result for the quarter and year ended 31st December 2020. Muhammad Karim and Syed Nazmi, the director of Serba Dynamic, and Azhan, the officer of Serba Dynamic, are deemed to have committed an offence under Section 369AB, read together with Section 3671 of the CMSA, and punishable under Section 369 of the same Act. On 28 December 2021, Azhan and Syed Nazim were charged, while Abdul Karim was charged on 29 December 2021. On 13 April 2022, the Security Commission, with the written consent of the public prosecutor and pursuant to its powers under Section 3731 of the CMSA, issued a compound notice to them. On 9th May 2022, three of them were paid the compound sum of 3 million ringgit. On 13th May 2022, the charges against them were withdrawn in the KL Session Court. Okay, the next issue is whether there was a falsification of records made. The offender was Muhammad Hafiz bin Osman. The fact of the issue was he was charged in Shah Alam Sessions Court for causing the books of Serba Dynamic Sdn Berhad, a related corporation to Serba Dynamic Holding Berhad, to be falsified. Muhammad Hafiz allegedly instructed the preparation of false documentation relating to the sales of Serba Dynamic, whereby the information in the said false documentation were recorded in the accounting records of Serba Dynamic Sdn Berhad. The charge preferred against Muhammad Hafiz was under Section 3681B1 of the Capital Markets and Services Act 2007 CMSA and punishable under Section 3682 of the same Act. Muhammad Hafiz was charged on 29 December 2021. On 13 April 2022, the Security Commission, of the written consent of the public prosecutor and pursuant to its powers under Section 3731 of the CMSA, issued a compound notice to Muhammad Hafiz. On 9th May 2022, Muhammad Hafiz paid the compound sum of 1 million ringgit. On 19th May 2022, the charge against Muhammad Hafiz was withdrawn in Shah Alam Session Court. Okay, I think that's all. I have done my part in explaining the case. Now I will pass it back to our moderator. Thank you.
Thank you to Professor Azim for the explanation. It is a huge responsibility, and by committing any wrongful act will definitely affect the company's reputation and progress. By that, unfortunately, we are reaching towards the end of this week's episode of Tech Talk Show. I would like to wrap up today's talk. In a nutshell, risk management is the process by which management assesses the nature and scope of risks that apply to a company, designs and implement appropriate control to mitigate the risk. to monitor the control to ensure that they are working effectively, all under the supervision of the Board of Directors. Hence, risk management should be included in the routine responsibility of Board Committee, as it is one of the crucial issues if one does not properly manage the risk. By overcoming this risk, the Board of Directors can manage their company effectively and making sure the company's daily production are moving towards a better level of efficiency to gain profit and to justify the shareholders. Don't forget to like and share and also subscribe to our channel. We are pleased to answer any comments, so do leave your comment regarding today's episode. Thank you to our speakers and thank you to all of you guys for watching. See you next time.